Greetings, golf addicts. Oh, son of a bitch. Why can't I get started correctly? Let's try it again. Greetings, golf addicts, and welcome to the final edition of the Fantasy Golf Sommelier for 2024. Now, I'll probably be back in 2025. We'll see. But this is the Open Championship at Royal Troon, and I am very excited to talk a little golf. We're going to give our plays like we always do. You know, we got the Boone's Farm Fade of the Week. We got the $10 wine special. And of course, we have the Pop the Cork play. And then we're going to talk a little bit, as always, about some alcohol, you know. But this week, I'm actually not going to talk about wine. I've got something a little different for you. But before I get into that, I think we need to get into the Boone's Farm Fade of the Week. And you know what, folks? I like Bryson now. I'm actually a Bryson fan, okay? And I think he's probably, you know, a good play this week. But I'm going to fade him. I'm going to fade Bryson. He doesn't have a great open record, all right? He's got one top 10 in his last 5 starts with a miscut and really not great finishes in those other events in those last 5, you know? And I think, you know, Bryson's brain doesn't really work well for links golf, okay? Because if Bryson's going to, you know, calculate out a shot that's 161.2 yards and he hits it 161.11225 yards, thinking it's perfect, maybe a little off, and then all of a sudden he gets some kind of crazy bounce or whatever, it blows his mind. Because that's what happened in links golf. We don't know what's going to, you know, we don't know what kind of bounce we're going to get, you know. We don't know what the green's going to do sometimes. And I think Bryson's going to have trouble this week. You know what? I know he bombs it off the tee. He does all the things well. He's playing fantastic this year. But I am going to be bold. You know, sometimes we have to be bold. And I am going to fade Bryson DeChambeau. Now, I don't know how chalky he's going to be. I think that's going to be interesting. He's kind of squeezed out a little bit where he is in his pricing, but I do think there is going to be some chalk. But either way, I'm still going to fade Bryson DeChambeau. Now, you know what else is bold? Guinness. Guinness is bold, I think. And first off, I'm going to open this up because you got to let it sit for a second. There we go. Ooh, look at that. It's ready. Come on, look at that. It's just popping out ready. It's ready to get into a glass, and now pouring onto the surface there. Okay. But I like Guinness a lot. Now, look, I know it's Irish, okay, but it doesn't matter. They drink a lot of Guinness in Scotland too. And so I wanted to talk about this. But first off, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to pour this Guinness. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of arguments about how you pour a Guinness. Now, I know this is different because it's out of a can than out of a tap, and there's all these different things you got to do. But I have one way to do it out of a can, one way. And I want you to rate it in the comments. You tell me if you like this way or not, and you tell me how I do. Give me a rating on how I did. But we're about to pour this Guinness, and this is what I think you do, okay? You don't pour it slow. You don't halfway pour it. You just get it all in there, you know, just like this. Look at that. Just like that. Just like that. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing. Okay. Just straight out of the can in there. Boom. Okay. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Now we're going to let it sit for a minute and talk about another play, and then we'll get into it. We'll get into some Guinness talk. I'm going to give you a little history of Guinness and some tasting notes as well. But next, we got to move on to the $10 wine special. I love Alex Noren. We talk about Alex Noren, I feel like, almost every show that we do. And he's been having a great year. He really has. He's disappointed a little bit the last few weeks, maybe the last couple tournaments, other than the Scottish Open, which he just played last week and finished in the top 10. We know these things about Alex Noren. He is a great ball striker, and he is a fantastic scrambler around the greens. I love that, okay? And I think, you know, when you think about Alex Noren, a lot of people forget because he's been on the PGA Tour for a little bit playing. He kind of, you know, he really cut his teeth on the DP World Tour. So he's from Europe. He's played a ton of European golf, and he really has a great open record when you think about it, or a pretty good one for a guy at $7,200 on DraftKings. If you look at his last 4 open starts, he's got 3 top 25s in there. That's pretty good. I don't mind that, you know? And I just think when you look at the ownership projections at around 8% or less, you're getting a little bit of good leverage with an excellent player in Alex Noren. I feel like he's a pretty safe play, maybe actually a cash play if you're playing some cash lineups. So I think Alex Noren is one of the guys that you need to put. He's a cheap play at $10 or at $7,200. So he's a $10 wine special. Now, a little history about some Guinness, okay? First off, on December 31st of the year of our Lord 1759, Arthur Guinness signed a 9,000-year lease, okay, with the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin, Ireland. 9,000 years. Let that sink in. That's a lot of years, okay? And I don't know what the lease was for, maybe a few cents. I don't know. But that tells you one thing. This guy had a lot of confidence in how good his beer was going to be. And so he signed a $9,000 or a 9,000-year lease. And that's just awesome. That's fantastic. Now, here we are. This is what it looks like after the pour, and we're going to get a good sip right here. Yeah, we're getting everything. Mouth, beard, nose, all up in this thing. Mm-hmm. So good. Whoa, that's good. That is good. Guinness is so good. Let's get a couple tasting notes here, by the way. You know, Guinness is like, it's got a little bit of a sweet taste, a sweet aroma, kind of like a coffee. And that comes from, you know, sort of that dried malt, you know, or that malted barley and roasted barley that you got in there. And, you know, when you look at, you kind of think about how it tastes, it's got kind of a medium, I think a little bit bold flavor to it. You know, you just have that roasted coffee taste, you know, with a little bit of bitterness on there. Obviously, it's dark, it's creamy. I just think it's just such a great, it's got like, I mean, all these different flavors that are, you know, cocoa, chocolate, coffee, cherries, raisins, you know, vanilla, all kinds of things. Cherries, raisins, vanilla, cocoa, coffee, all of that, all in one beer. It's so good. It's so good. It just makes every taste you just want it to savor all the taste. And smell it too. I mean, you can almost drink a Guinness like you're drinking wine. You know, you gotta really take in the flavors and the taste and all that. This isn't like having a Miller Lite or something. Okay, you got to really enjoy it. Okay, now, by the way, that's wine we talking about, but not really wine. Guinness, a beer. All right, let's get on. It's really hot, by the way. It's hot in the South, and this robe is hot. But I'm still doing this for you people. We're going on to the Pop the Cork play of the week, and that for me is going to be Mr. Cam Smith. Mr. Cam Smith, winner of the Open Championship at St. Andrews just a couple of years ago. He hasn't had the greatest year on live, but he's had some good finishes lately, okay? And I think we're going to see Cam Smith surprise a little bit this week. He made the cut, finished like in the top 30, I believe, at the U.S. Open. We know he is one of the best putters in the world, and I really like just great putters on Open Championship courses. I think these greens are going to be they could be a little bit slow. We don't know, but those people that just putt really well on everything can adapt to that. And I think Cam Smith is going to do that, you know? And so I like just having a great putter, and his ownership's low. He's going to be around 8%. I'm good with that. That sounds great to me because he's right next to a guy named Tony Finau, who I like too this week. I like Tony Finau, but Tony's going to be a little bit chalky. So I think if you're looking for a good pivot play off of Tony Finau, I think Cam Smith is the way to go at 8,900. So for me, the Pop the Cork play, Cam Smith at 8,900. All right. That's really all I got. The show's over for 2024. I hope everyone has a great Open Championship. Have you a little Guinness while you're enjoying the Open. It doesn't matter that it comes on in the morning. You can drink it anytime if you want to, especially when you're watching golf. Plus, it has some coffee taste, some coffee notes in it anyway. So you can just say, I'm having a little beer coffee or something. That's all I got. Good luck to everyone this week, the rest of the year. And you know what? I'm out. I've decided that we're going to try something different. All right. We're not going to have wine on the show. Okay. I'm going to talk about something different. But you know what? Let me start over. Fuck me, motherfucker. Shit. Greetings, golf addicts, and welcome to the final edition of the Fantasy Golf Sommelier for 2024. Okay, I might be back in 2025. You never know. But this is the Open Championship, and we are at Royal Troon. That sucked.